It's the Sleepers, starting five, new form of content. We're going to be dropping these on Mondays and Fridays every single week, trying something new. You guys are smart. You've seen the format before. We're picking 5 topics. We're talking about them. The 5 most important things in sports, a lot of basketball, some other sports even. Carter and I giving you our thoughts. We're going to get right into this. And lastly, we do not have a presenting sponsor for this. I know you see the Locker Room logo up top. We are still part of the Locker Room Podcast Network. Podcast is going nowhere. We're still here. But if you want to be presenting sponsor of the Starting Five segment twice a week, hit us up. Let us know. Into the first topic, Cart. Franz Wagner, German extraordinaire, Michigan Wolverine, all-time great, maybe not, maybe that's too high, has declared for the draft, signed with an agent. Your thoughts?
And there's a lot of people out there thinking you might tee me up to shit on Franz, because I could, because he had a tough last game, and he had that air ball. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give my big ups to Franz. Franz, I think, is a stamp certified lottery talent. If he gets out of the lottery, I think teams are messing up. Wouldn't be surprised to even see him go top 10, to be honest with you. Late 10, but go top 10. You have a guy who is a knockdown shooter at 6'9". He's definitely going to measure out great, have wingspan, all that, probably be over 7 feet. And you have a guy who's elite on the defensive end. And you also have a guy who is one of the youngest sophomores in college basketball. So, I mean, he's just scratching the surface in my eyes. So he'll immediately touch the floor, be the best Wagner in the NBA. And I think he'll be a really good pro player. At worst, he'll be a 3-and-D guy. So, and there's always a place for white 3-and-D guys in the NBA. Always.
Yeah, the question is he actually going to be a 3-and-D guy, or is he just a D guy? He shot 34% in college. A lot of people said he was more like a 40% shooter. That never came to fruition. He had a wide open 3 to send us to the Final Four, and he airballed it. So I don't mean to sound bitter on Franz. He should be a lottery pick. I'm shocked that you are giving him praise. That's awesome. I think Franz is the most important player that is not Trey Burke in the last decade for Michigan. And that's not to say he's the best player, but he is the most important, because if he doesn't commit to a coach that didn't recruit him on his first day in the job, the first 2 years of Juwan Howard looked totally different. And he raised the floor. He raised the ceiling in year 2. That team was a team that, with Isaiah Livers healthy, could have competed for a national title. We didn't get to see it. But Franz means a lot to the program and fans everywhere. Everybody expected this decision. I'm not surprised, and I wish him the best.
Same here, but I'm glad to see him go. Do not want to see him play Spartans another year, even though Aaron Henry had that boy in the gulag.
What's your NBA comparison for Franz? I've heard a lot of names thrown out. I've heard Lamar Odom is one of my favorites. Nick Batum.
I'll give him Nick Batum, but he ain't LO. LO had that thing on a string, was dishing it. Franz ain't got that.
Franz could get there, maybe. I think it's more likely he becomes a facilitator than he does a shooter.
Yeah. Like I said, he's scratching the surface. He's young. I think like 2 years from now, Franz could really reach a whole nother level. Depends on where he goes and how he progresses. So we'll see.
And as Franz said in his letter, if the NBA will let Mo in, they'll let anybody in. So
and that's facts.
We'll see. Moving on to another big name in the state of Michigan, who may or may not be playing college basketball in the future. Emoni Bates, decommits from Michigan State. Carter, is that a good or a bad thing?
It's bad because I think it's a combination of things. It's not bad because Emoni's not coming to Michigan State, because let's be honest, everyone knew he wasn't coming to Michigan State. It is what it is. Like, it's great that he committed to us and like he's showing love to Tom Izzo and the program, but he wasn't really coming to Michigan State. But it is bad because, one, he's decommitting. 2, it's just a lot of stuff going on around him right now. A lot of scrutiny around his game, scrutiny in his circle. Like, everything's piling up on him right now, and then he decommits. So it's a whole lot of just red flags popping up at once, and then he decommits. But let's be honest with each other. Like, he wasn't coming to play at the Breslin Center. If you think he was turning down pro money to get half off Rick's on Tuesday, you're drunk. He wasn't doing it. So we're good.
So Emoni Bates decommitting to me, or Emoni Bates committing to Michigan State, is like me committing today to sign my wife and I up for a 5K on July 3rd, 4th of July weekend. Like, I'm committed to doing that. Will I do it? Maybe not. Probably not. Like, there's a really good chance I'm not going to be there.
You better do it.
I'm just saying, like, that's one of those things, like, you commit. There's usually some other reasons, like, oh, the work people told me about the 5K. My wife would be happy if I do it. Like, Emoni did that to put Ipsy Prep on the map. Kudos to him and his family for figuring that out. I thought there was a legit chance at one point he would play there. Then as soon as him and Akins had beef, I knew it was dead. I think this is a great thing for Michigan State as a program and the fans right now to dodge this bullet. Amani's not playing well right now. And that's not to say he's not a great recruit or a great prospect. He's going to be a good pro, but he's not this generational next LeBron that he was made out to be, like they make out somebody to be every single year. He's shooting horribly from the floor. He's jacking terrible shots. He shoots from literally from like a step inside half court 5 times a game with a hand in his face and hits one of them.
Yeah, but you know what? This isn't an indictment on though. Like he might be, but like let's say like he turns out to be a Brandon Ingram. Like, are we just like, oh god, that's a letdown? Like Brandon Ingram is an NBA All-Star.
No, but he's got a long way to go to turn out to be Brandon Ingram.
He does, but this is all I'm gonna say. Last thing I'm gonna say on it: just don't be that grown ass man who gets off his 9 to 5, pets his dog when he gets home, says what's up to the wife, and she says dinner's in the oven, and then you go and check Emoni Bates stats and then get online and hate on him. Like, come on. Like, is that what we're really doing? Like, is it really that dope to hate on a 17-year-old who had a bad weekend at AAU? Like, stop it. Like, even I don't do that. Come on now.
So there's worse stats you could be looking at. I spent half my workday today looking at Carter Elliott's college synergy numbers. So you were nice in post-ups, highly efficient. I think the word was, what was the word? Excellent was the word that synergy used to describe you in those spots.
Should have gave me the rock, coach, man. What's up with that, man? What's your feet?
But no, good thing for MSU. They can move on. I guess wish Emoni well. It'll be interesting to see what happens. He's got to go G League, I would assume. But long term,
it's not the end of the world for State fans. That's all. I'm sorry to cut you off, G. Not the end of the world for State fans. It's gonna be okay. Get out of his IG comments, putting snake emojis. Like, stop. Be better. Want better for yourself.
Well said. Michigan State will be fine. Let's move on to NBA play-in. So LeBron James, the best player in the world. Yes, I said it. Got in some trouble with the media the other day for saying that whoever came up with the NBA play-in concept should be fired. LeBron James himself, of course, had a quote. People dug it up from last year saying he loved the concept. That was back when the Lakers were not on the bubble to maybe be in the play-in games. So Carter, do you like the play-in games in general?
First of all, I thought that the main headline was going to be that LeBron was on IG listening to Yellow Wolf. That was the main thing that should have been talked about, because that's not an NBA champion. I'm sorry if that's what's in his rotation for music. That's not okay. But, I mean, it's a bad look for Bron. I think I'm in the minority on this one. I like the play-in games. It's just more basketball for me. So I enjoy that portion of it. And also it has a lot of meaning because it's a one game kind of thing. So I enjoy that personally. I know a lot of people don't feel the same. I feel like you don't feel the same, G. So I'm going to let you kind of go on this one.
I don't feel the same. I love the single elimination of the NCAA tournament. I love it because you get to see all these small schools that have not had a chance before go up against some of the biggest names and get their one shot to knock people off. That's not how the NBA playoffs works. Like, if a 10 seed beats a 7 seed, then they just have to go play a 2 seed in a 7-game series in which they will lose 4-1. It's just a bunch of drama for no reason, and at the expense of potentially losing like a guy like Damian Lillard or a guy like LeBron James to a single elimination game to a team that's worse than them is terrifying to me as a basketball fan. I hope it doesn't happen. I think LeBron getting caught in his quote is funny. Like, you can twist people's quotes however you want to. I don't make anything out of that, but I just wish the NBA would kind of stick to the normalcy instead of trying to get creative.
He did say in 2018, and people overlooked this quote, that the play-in game was a shitty idea in 2018.
So started by saying it was shitty, then said he loved it. Now says it's shitty again. Is that where we're at with the timeline?
I mean, I'm not LeBron's publicist, so you can go speak to him about that. His IG is @KingJames, so go follow up with him.
But you believe that LeBron and the Lakers are still the biggest threat to win the title at this point, right?
Hell yeah. No. Say what you want. Say anything. Twist it any way you want. Harden, Durant, yeah, that's dope. But it's LeBron James in the NBA playoffs. Like, that's all you have to say. It's really a different breed. It's not normal. Okay. Like, you don't bet against LeBron James in NBA playoffs. It's just, you can do it. It's weird, but I wouldn't. That's not my personal preference. I'm not gonna. So, like, if LeBron James is in the NBA playoffs, there's a great chance he's gonna be in the finals. So I think they're gonna find their way there. If they're healthy, they're there.
I was worried for a couple days that like, things aren't trending well for the Lakers. But then I saw Drake showing Adonis, his son, LeBron highlights, and now I know they'll be fine. Like it's LeBron James. At the end of the day, he's going to be the biggest factor. And no matter how he has to get there, as long as he's healthy, that will happen. Moving on, different sport, non-basketball, sleepers, talking NFL draft happened last week. Lions are our team. We obviously had interest in who they would select and what would happen under this new coaching staff. Did you like the Lions draft?
I did, but I think they were in a position where they really couldn't mess it up. I think that a talent who was a top 5, top 3 prospect in this draft fell into their laps at 7. And we got the Samoan Orlando Pace to hold down the line for the next 12 years. So I was a defensive guy, defensive lineman when I played football. So I'm always an advocate of build from the trenches. Shout out to Dirk Gill. I'm in the trenches, relax. So I'm all about building from the trenches and out. So we need a lot of needs with this team. So let's start with, saying the big guys up front, the big uglies, and let's build our way out. And it's a process, but the rebuild starts now. I think he's a good, solid piece to fit into that rebuild, and hopefully down the line we'll be okay. So I'm okay with the pick.
I have no harsh words for Penei Sewell. I think he'll be good. I think there's no reason to think he wouldn't be, but I found the draft underwhelming in general. And as a whole, like, has there been a draft in the last few years that Lions fans haven't been ecstatic about after the draft? Like, I feel like it's
the draft. No, there had, bro. Like, we picked Tavai in the second round. We took Tease Tabor in the second round, and I wanted to riot.
okay. Well, you also are like an educated Lions fan. Like, you're plugged in. You go to games. Like, I feel like you have a better pulse on some of these guys and what the franchise needs to do than most fans. Like, the majority of the fan base that I have been able to follow or see every year is just like, oh yeah, great draft, we killed it, and like, have we really had a great draft looking back on it ever? Like, I don't know. Could these dudes pan out? Maybe, for sure. Am I excited that we got a lineman after we just traded our generational quarterback? Like, I guess. Great. Are we protecting Jared Goff for the next 5 years? I don't know. I need a face for this franchise. Like, who is the face of the Detroit Lions?
I am.
And I can get behind that. I'm excited about that. But I also want a face on the field.
All right. Honestly, Penei might be that face. Like, even if people don't like him, even if people like don't even watch football, like, his name is Pasta. Everyone loves pasta.
Hadn't thought about that, I'll be honest. I mean,
I was gonna get that dad joke off no matter what happened. But we're good, man. That dude's a monster. He's a killer. He wants to kill people on the football field.
This is what you told me about Jeff Okudah last year.
Huh?
This is what you told me about Okudah last year.
I did not say Jeff Okudah.
You told me we loved the pick. You said it was.
I do. And I still do.
Grade out as the worst corner in the league.
Okay, but bro, like, he literally came into the year coached by idiots, ran by idiots, and came into the year with a groin injury, and they threw him out there and he wasn't ready. They just threw him out there to get fucking cooked. So hopefully he's good, gets his mental right, get some guys who actually can teach him the game of football and like guide him. He doesn't have to play with a bunch of fat weenies who have pencils in their ears. Like, we're gonna be okay.
I hope we're gonna be okay. It's just so, I don't know. It's gonna take a lot of different things, and I guess a coach that wants to eat people's kneecaps is different than what we've seen.
That's what I'm saying. Like, at least at the worst, like, we're gonna come out there and fuck up your kneecaps. Like, you literally have that in the back of your head that you might get your kneecaps ate. Like, how are you supposed to play the game to your fullest extent if in the back of your head you could lose a kneecap at any time?
Well, we just cut Kerryon Johnson, so.
Did we?
That we literally cut Kerryon Johnson an hour ago.
Oh wow. Well, whatever.
I mean, hey, we'll see.
It's DeAndre Swift season.
Move on. Hopefully DeAndre Swift can catch a game-winning touchdown in the first game this year.
Yeah, besides that, he had a good year. Fuck you, Greg.
It's all right. On to a couple teams that know how to win. The Champions League final has, of course, set itself up. Carter versus myself. the Sleepers crossover event of the year. Man City, Chelsea. Look, I am a new-ish soccer fan. I hit up Carter at the beginning of the pandemic last year and said, I need to learn how to love soccer because it was the only sport going. Carter put me through all of the education that I needed. I watched matches. I learned. I picked a team. That team was Chelsea because they had young bulls. They had Christian Pulisic. I love them. I love the kits. I love Daddy Frank at the time. Daddy Frank, RIP. Thank you for getting us to this position where we now are with the transition. And one other thing that I've learned from my first year watching soccer, Cart, I don't like those dudes over in Man City. I don't like them. They're a lot of flash.
Hey, I would hate the best team in Europe right now too. I would hate the best club in the world too.
I'm not a big fan of teams that just decide to buy themselves out of the gutter, Cart.
Podcast smells like broke. Get your money up, not your funny up, man. That's the name of the game.
I'm assuming you weren't a City fan before that happened, right?
No, I wasn't, and I'm not scared to admit that either. Like everyone's like, "Oh, you became a City fan once they got the oil money." I was like, I didn't pick up the sport until after they got the oil money, so I didn't have a chance. Like, I'm
dissing you, and I literally picked a team last year because they had the best American player ever.
Right? Like, come on, man, give me a fucking break. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to get your foot in the door somewhere. Don't kick me out because I didn't join the team for the right reason. But anywho, we're bringing it home. Like Drake said, looking for revenge. We've got to revenge our last loss to Chelsea. The Champions League is coming to the crib. It's coming to the sleeper, Carter, after losing sleeper of the year. I need that.
So listen, the biggest fear for me going into this match is legitimately that the universe owes you for losing sleeper of the year. I love that this is you versus me. Again, this is great content. We're going to have to come up with some sort of bet for this. In fact, if you're willing, I want you to pick this bet. I will agree to any terms you want as long as they are even, win or lose. Whoever's team loses this match loses the bet based on the terms you set.
Know what? Okay, I got this. And I'm going to come up with something, but I'm also going to throw it to the people who listen to this because I'm going to give you all a little insight. Me and Greg hate running. We hate running. I'm talking about I hate running. I can honestly say that. I never will ever.
You hate it more than I do. I've been running a little bit. I still hate it, but I've been doing it.
Okay. My suggestion is I think people find this out, but I think the loser has to run.
Okay. I mean, I legitimately did sign up for the 5K I mentioned earlier, and I don't want to run it.
Well, you might have to run it. I'm still churning up ideas, but my initial thought is the loser has to run.
When you say run, how much running are we talking? Like
a 5K?
Okay, I'm spitballing here. How about a 90-minute soccer match of running?
Elaborate on that.
We might have to think of this, but I'm thinking like camera or somebody follows you to a pitch, your local pitch, and we put a timer on for 90 minutes, and I'm expecting some up and down, some back and forth.
I have a park down the street that's probably pretty big. I'm not saying it's a regulation size soccer thing, but I will go there and I'll put on for 90 minutes. I'll just run back and forth.
I'll do that. I'll do that too.
Okay. Is that the bet?
Back and forth for 90 minutes, whoever loses this match.
Is that the bet?
I'm in for that.
All right. Virtual shake. God, I'm going to be sick as fuck if I got to run.
I mean, I didn't even give you odds. I feel like I should have given myself some odds here because we are the underdogs, but that's right where we want to be.
Dude's already talking about odds. You see where his mindset's at.
We want to be. We're right where we want to be. All right. Well, now I'm excited for this. What is the match next week?
No, it's actually a couple weeks. So it's May 29th, Saturday, Memorial Day weekend.
We might have to get together, watch that one too, Cart.
Oh, for sure.
A lot on the line. All right. Well, Carter, thank you as always. Like I said, Monday and Friday, we will be doing this, the starting five going forward from the sleepers. We will still be doing our podcast when the time calls for it. That will be a different thing for us. Don't worry. That's not going anywhere. Carter, any final words for the people?
Can you plug with the stuff we got coming?
Of course. We got some stuff coming.
Please tell the people.
Okay. First of all, I got an article in the works for SpartanHoops.com. Joey Hauser, focused. We're getting into our player breakdowns now. And I'm not going to lie. I think I'm higher on Joey Hauser than most everybody in the Spartan fan base is.
Not my Hauser.
we'll be excited for people to hear that. And I believe you're going to be on some podcast stuff pretty soon.
I will be joining DK from Spartan Hoops as well. We'll be getting together soon to talk transfer portal stuff. And I'm deep in the transfer portal. I've got the tweet notifications on for verbal commits, and I'm all about the transfer portal and everything that's going on. And there's a lot of moving parts. So been diving into that. Probably have that episode coming out with DK soon. So be on the lookout for that. And then, of course, the main content, the sleepers. We got stuff in the works, is what they say.
In the works. Smash that subscribe button.
Hey, smash that fucking like button. Smash that subscribe button.
All right, we out. Peace.
Peace.